And welcome to Rocket Watch, the podcast in which we talk about Overwatch and Rocket League, but not at the same time, except for sometimes when I forget. My name is Ryan Brady, also known as Tank Johnson. I said my name was Ryan Brady in episode 1. I don't know if I should just go by Tank Johnson. It's my gamer tag. Everybody else goes by their gamer tag. It's Monte Cristo and Doa and ZP, and everybody goes by their gamer tag. Thing is, I have like a negative connotation with my gamer tag because I'm so bad at games, which is why I don't really just go straight to Tank Johnson. Although I do like the name. It's a name I've gone by for a little while, and I do enjoy it. So if you want to call me Tank Johnson, or if you'd like to call me Ryan Brady, you know, either one. This was going to have like a regular schedule. I was going to put them up on Tuesday evenings, but so many things are happening right now, and I was watching Apex this morning on VOD, because I'm in America, and there were just so many things happening. And then like League of Rockets came out with something today too for this summer for Rocket League, because I was like going back and forth because there was a whole lot of Overwatch actual things going on and not so much Rocket League, because we're in the last week of registration and people are kind of just on the down low right now trying to figure out what team they're supposed to be on before the end of our RLCS season 3 registration. So not a whole lot was happening until this afternoon when a thing happened. So here I am. Let's go over today's topics. In Overwatch, we're going to talk about that whole Reddit thing. NRG rumors. Basically, if you watch Siegel's stream, he just talks about who might be on the team. We're going to talk about Apex. It was also announced today who is going to be in the Alienware Cup coming up. It's definitely not called a cup. We're going to go over the power rankings for both Overwatch and Rocket League, although I haven't changed them at all. It was 2 days ago. The only things that happened so far, Rocket League has a Gfinity happening right now, recording as of 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast, which is Eastern Standard Time in America. And the only things that have happened in Overwatch are the 2 Apex games, which I think happened the way they probably should have gone and have made an interesting future for Misfits specifically, but not so much for the power rankings. For me, it pretty much all stays the same and comes down to the Lunatic High Misfits match, which, as I said last time, is hype. And now it's not only hype, but it is Misfits has to... Well, we'll get there. Let's go on over to Overwatch. Is that too much? Probably. Okay. So, when I put this up, I got straight to the point and said, you know, it's basically my dream to be a part of Overwatch and or Rocket League. Maybe even both. I absolutely love both communities to death. And because I really have gotten to see them grow and see what they are. They're 2 very different communities. Rocket League is smaller, obviously, has been around a little longer, not by much though, and Overwatch has grown exponentially, has Blizzard backing it up, is setting up an Overwatch League that is supposed to go right up against the League of Legends and CSGO and all the bigger esports. I mean, Overwatch is trying to set themselves up to be the biggest esport in the world one day, and Rocket League is setting itself up to survive. So that's the two differences. Although, and when I first put this up, I said that if like anyone liked it, that would be a huge thumbs up, and it'd be a huge like keep doing it, and that's awesome. I was gonna keep doing it anyway. I was like, the moment I put up the last one, I was like, I want to just do it. Oh my god, I love it so much. I love all of this. I love talking to people about Overwatch and Rocket League, which I got to do on the competitive Overwatch Reddit this week, and some on Rocket League. Rocket League is a little odd because of their Reddit situation, which we'll get into. But first, Lucio Ball. How did I not even say this? How did I not get to this point in the first one? Lucio Ball is Rocket League and Overwatch put together. That's what everybody was even saying as it was there, and my Rocket League experience actually helped me out with Lucio Ball, because I immediately tried to start rotating and tell everyone, like, if you don't start rotating, they're just gonna Lucio Ball that thing right into the Lucio goal. Okay? Okay? Let's all rotate. No, see, you're in a corner. You were in the corner for the last 2 minutes. Do you think that's a good idea? It's not. So I just needed to bring up that Lucio Ball is also now known as the podcast that I'm currently doing in a nutshell. And now, after talking about something super fun, let's go talk about something full of narcissism and ego. The fight over on r/Overwatch. And really, it was the fight over on r/competitive Overwatch. I heard someone say that it was the worst thing that's happened in Overwatch so far, which, yeah, sure. Also, though, in a 24-hour news cycle, we might be able to just move right past it. In fact, I was watching Apex today, and Monte Cristo was the guy who wrote up the petition. They got 1,500 signatures to basically, which... if I had to sum up the petition in one sentence, it is, we over here at competitive Overwatch don't think what our Overwatch is good. Listen to us, the people who know better. And while they might be correct from their perspective, obviously other human beings were like, no. So, and then though, the hard part for me was when everyone was like, wait, do most people disagree with Monte Cristo in this? Do most people agree that competitive Overwatch, r/competitive, in fact, is what exactly we need and the exact place we all should be and already are, with a pretty large population out of the gate to begin with? Or should we fight to get more r/Overwatch esports related things, even though it is in the sidebar? But I see what they're saying. What they want is stickied posts. What they want is an algorithm change, maybe, to have like esports things on the top of r/Overwatch. But like, r/Overwatch is huge. It's absolutely gigantic. I think it has like 700,000. Don't quote me on that. It has like a lot of people, so much so that when Reddit just updated their r/popular, they had to literally get rid of everything that goes to r/Overwatch, because if they didn't, it would all just go to r/popular, like right at the beginning, because people upvote that stuff so quickly. So they literally had to take it out of the new algorithm in r/popular. That's how many people are on the Overwatch Reddit right now, which I think is the point, right? Competitive Overwatch on the Reddit is a place where I go every day, and I go to r/Overwatch maybe once a week, because competitive Overwatch has all the things I want, all the things Monte Cristo is asking to be in r/Overwatch. Now, I see his point. His point is Overwatch as an esport is trying to grow, and with Overwatch League is trying to become, viable right next to League of Legends, right? So, in that vein, why wouldn't you try to give Overwatch esports the best foot forward, right? If you're Blizzard, if you're the moderators at r/Overwatch, and you believe that the esport is what is going to take this game to the next level, then sure, I kind of get it in that vein. Just, have more stuff on r/Overwatch, make the masses, make the casuals see that stuff more, perhaps turn them into competitive Overwatch watchers, people who watch the OGN channel when it's on at 3 a.m. Pacific, or people who watch the things that will be like the winter premiere going forward, the Alienware monthlies, and Overwatch League, when it comes out. Because I think these are people fighting for how many people will watch the Overwatch League from day one. If you start now and you really cover r/Overwatch and esports stuff, I bet on day one you'll have more people watching, right? I mean, that's logically, they'll just be there. But here's the thing. The r/Overwatch population outranks the competitive Overwatch Reddit, I think 7-1, something like that. Meaning that the competitive Overwatch Reddit, I'm going to go check right now, but I'm pretty sure have like 100,000 people on it. Right? as my computer slows to a halt. Okay, so as of this moment, the Overwatch subreddit has 775,000 subscribers, 11,000 logged on right now, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday. Competitive Overwatch has 85,000 and 1,000 logged on right now. So 1 to 11 logged on right now, basically 1 to 8 who are on it on a daily basis. On the top of r/Overwatch is Season 3 Competitive, ends February 21st. These are all GIFs. These are all plays of the game. The top stuff on Competitive Overwatch right now is aiming tips and conversations about Apex this morning. The new Around the Watch episode is up. IDD talking about the no-scope heal with Ana. And stuff like that. Okay. So, I guess my question and my final question is, because to have a little bit of insight that I don't think anyone has said yet, something like this happened in Rocket League too, but it kind of got squashed because the scene was small enough where esports stuff, like anything with Cookser or anything with Kronovi or anything with Jazer, etc., would get upvoted because it was the coolest stuff. And which I think was the final argument on the side of the people who are like, why do we need this petition? Why do you guys need to try to force a group of human beings who are fine the way they are to do something that they probably don't want to do, even if just the reason they don't want to do it is because you're telling them to, and their reaction is, no. Like, if that's their reaction, then that's the reaction, because they don't like being told what to do. They don't like being told what's good, oddly enough, right? So why can't it just be separate? Why can't the stuff that is cool enough get up there by itself? Why can't you say on a broadcast, wow, that post should be on the top of r/Overwatch, an action item in that moment to give to people, be like, you're right, I'm going to clip that. Click, done, and then actually try to upvote it. While the moderators of r/Overwatch should perhaps in the future bring some attention to esports stuff, like especially as the Overwatch League occurs, maybe sticky something when it gets announced, like something like that. I don't believe the curation process should be different. I think that's hubris. I think that's overstepping a line, and that's telling a group of people they're stupid. I get it, but that's what it is. Moving on to something a bit more fun. So when Siegel was talking on his stream the other night, when he was having they were having crazy 6-stack fights. It was like him and Grim Reality and Agilities and Moon and DSP Stanky and Miso on Zarya versus Hydration's alternate account, who was like in the same room as Miso was, and Remix and Baby Bay and Kefri and Sinatra on his alt, the current number one, or was at least 2 days ago. I'm not sure who is now in America. Plus a few others on that team that I'm definitely forgetting. But it was fun. They were 6-stacking against each other all evening, and they were having a great time, even though Siegel was like completely asleep and having to play Ana the entire time. But a little fun fact came out in the middle of it. They asked him who they were trying out, and he said something about, like, he actually said, like, I think the direct quote was like, we've been trying Ajax and Nesh out a lot right now, and they tried out Grego in the past, because someone asked, like, what about Grego? And he's like, yeah, we tried him in the past. We're trying out Ajax and Nesh, like, right now a lot, actually. And then people asked him about Harblu. He's like, yeah, I would let that happen. Yeah. So if I had to guess, I would say that they are looking at Ajax and Nesh as their main shot caller. Whichever one of those two can main shot call and switch to Lucio better will probably get that spot. And then Harblu will get the off-tank spot unless they've been playing around with someone else that we just don't know about. I know there were a few others, especially like in the leak, which obviously doesn't matter because they've been doing and trying out absolutely everybody. But it feels like this is a place where Harblu should be. right? And if it's not him, someone of his caliber on Roadhog and Zarya. So, I don't know. It's fun, especially because Ajax and Nesh aren't Grego. That's the best part of it. I guess entertainment-wise is that while everybody's dream team is Harblue and Grego, and by everybody I mean me, I should not make sweeping generalizations, Ajax and Nesh are absolutely the people who they're looking at the most right now. So, we don't know who it's going to be, and they didn't sign up for the Alienware Monthly. They were asked and did not, and said no thank you. Which I believe in the beginning their idea was like, what if we try out for the Alienware Monthly or whatever the Alienware thing is called this time, and we can maybe try out people in different games. Like if they would let them do that, they would perhaps say, let's do this. I don't know if they tried that or not, tried to negotiate that, but either way, they're not going to play. And we'll get to the Alienware later. And because they just announced who is going to be playing in it. So we'll talk about them then. But first, let us go to the Apex games this morning. We had MVP versus BK. BK beat them 3-0, which they probably should have. I mean, BK Stars going into the Apex season thought they'd be doing much better than they are right now. They're happy to stay in. MVP gets relegated down, but obviously BK is a little disappointed, probably. Happy that they're still in, but a little disappointed in how the season has gone, especially because they just 3-0'd MVP, letting them know that they are a very strong team. I mean, MVP got 3-2'd Envy, got beat by Envy, got beat by 3-2, and BK got beat by Envy 3-1. So you saw that, and you're like, okay, so maybe MVP has a little bit over BK Stars. Nope, not the truth, not what happened at all. As it turns out, we saw a bunch of Fair Mercy, a pharmacy comp on the first Oasis map, and it came down really to their DPS players because they were playing dive so much. Bunny was in the backline on Tracer constantly, and he was great on Tracer, and Carpe was murdering on McCree. So their DPS came through for them. They won a 3-0. There was a big pause in the middle there, which I don't understand exactly what is happening in that moment. I don't know why the pause is happening. The audience doesn't either. The pause went on for too long this time. Way too long. This wasn't like a Sombra complexity kind of thing. This was just, I don't know. Again, I don't know what it was, but it went on for too long. So I don't know what they have to figure out to fix that, but they got to do something because it was a bummer. It was fun during that game in the chat during the pause. People were putting memes into the chat, and everyone was like, "Guys, Monte Cristo doesn't want memes in the chat. He wrote a petition about it, so everyone should know that." Which and there were a few people saying that, and everyone was laughing at it. But it is also like another thing for. That's why I think it's just gonna go away pretty soon. The 24-hour news cycle. I think the casuals forget it ever happened, and the competitive people will have a bad taste in their mouths for the idea of just for that particular kind of idea. So, but because it was a meme already, it was being memed by not too many people, but enough for it to be seen on the VOD of during that too long pause break. That was followed up by a 3-0 sweep of LW Blue versus AF Red. LW Blue coming out on top, which they probably should have. Flower was better than Tydala on Genji. And let's see, we got a Volskaya. Oh yeah, Volskaya. I mean, the last map they were on Volskaya, it was Take This and Janice versus each other on Reinhardt the whole time. Who is a better Reinhardt? Who is going to outmind game each other? And Janice just came out on top. There were more Earth Shatters that changed fights by Janice than Take This, and that's what won them the Volskaya in the last map. But I mean, again, these two games were about DPS most of the time. It was who was getting frags, who was killing, who was murdering, and whoever got the first picks in the fights were winning most of the time. It was dive comp. So, except for Volskaya, which was a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, that was still happening at Volskaya. You had Tracers running around. You had Genjis running around and trying to do their best. But I did really like the moments in Volskaya where it stopped being about who was getting picks in the back and it started being about a Reinhardt battle, because I'm a fan. I love Reinhardt battles. But because LW Blue 3-0'd AF Red, Misfits has some work to do. So I think there are two options right now, right? Misfits can either 3-0 Lunatic High, or they can 3-1 Lunatic High, and then they'll be in a tie of sorts, and they'll have to do some sort of rematch. And in that actual scenario, the point is, if Misfits doesn't completely dominate Lunatic High, which I would also argue a 3-1 is domination, the obvious is 3-0, but 3-1 is pretty hard to do, especially against a team like Lunatic High, a team I have, I think, third in the power rankings right now. Misfits not in the top 5, even with Tavik. But I mean, there's not. They have not had the results that they need to yet. So you can talk about all the ways that this might happen. You can talk about the versions of it where Misfits maybe gets maybe it's 3-2 Misfits, and is everybody underestimating Misfits? We don't know. We have to actually watch and see, because at this moment I feel like everybody has the exact tone and idea I had before when I said if they'll just need to 3-0 Lunatic High, and then just silence, and then you just like hide behind your microphone because you're like, I don't think that's ever going to happen. So the next scheduled games in Apex are on February 21st. We got AF Blue versus Conbox Spirit, a game AF Blue should win, but probably will be closer than most people think. And Flash Lux versus Kongdu Panthera, which Kongdu Panthera should 3-0 them. And then we move forward to February 24th, where we got Envy versus Meta Athena. I'm going to pick Envy 3-1, but gosh dang, that's going to be a good game. And we got Lunatic High and Misfits, and I'm also going to take... Oh, gosh, this one's difficult. This one's difficult, guys. Do you think it's going to be 3-1? Do you think it's going to be 3-0? Do you think Misfits is going to come out of nowhere? I mean, there's this little part of me that thinks to myself, Tavik is better than Eska. I believe that. And will that turn some games? I don't know. I think Misfits are coming off a 3-0 sweep against AF Red. I think the LW Blue match was an actual month ago. That was January 17th. It is February 17th right now. I think Misfits will be better than they were versus LW Blue, but I just don't think they can still beat Lunatic High. I think it will be 3-1, and I think it will make for an interesting bunch of rematches and or actual moments that Group B, the group that everybody said, why is that group like that when it was put out there, will have to kind of figure itself out. Right, so let's move over to the Alienware Monthly Melee. They just announced all the teams. Here they are right in front of us here. We have FaZe Clan, Rogue, Immortals looking to come off their winter premiere win to see how they're doing. Hammers Esports, the out of nowhere but not really team. The Luminosity Gaming, Complexity without JKW or Harblue, Renegades without Man of Snow, and Rise Nation. And I'm super excited for the monthly melee, because not just because of who the teams are, but mostly because of how many storylines they are. Rogue doesn't have Skip anymore, right? So we're going to see how they do with that replacement. Renegades obviously had all of those troubles during the winter premiere with going back and forth between Kib and Man of Snow. So without Man of Snow on Renegades, who are they going to have in the off tank, and what are they going to do? Is Immortals going to actually prove themselves to be the best team who is not currently in Apex in North America, who also just isn't playing right now, aka NRG, because they don't have people, and as I said before, who and what is complexity going to be without their heart and soul, in my opinion, Harblue, and without JKW, and then is none of that going to matter because Hammers Esports is like still on a hot streak and are coming out of nowhere to be perhaps the up and coming American team. So while there is an actual tournament going on and I want to know who's going to win out of all these teams, which if I had to pick off the top of my head, I would say Rogue. Yeah, I would say Rogue. Oh, right. FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan's also in this. I just forgot because who even knows what they're going to be ever. So, and Rise Nation. Will they, be able to run a dive comp and be able to and really get into the nitty gritty of it. So, I guess I pick Rogue before anything, but who knows? FaZe Clan could come out. Shadowburn could be a force to be reckoned with once more. Luminosity, probably not. Rise, maybe. Renegades, who even knows? Hammers Esport, maybe. Immortals, yeah, they should do something. FaZe Clan, I mean, I so many stories up in the air. So many things we don't know. We will have to wait and see. And as we move on from the Alienware Monthly Melee, we'll go over and we'll look at the power rankings really fast. This obviously hasn't changed. Since then, I would say the only stuff that I'm thinking about really is Unica and Panthera. Which one is stronger? But honestly, I don't think we're going to know that until we get into further rounds of Apex. Exactly know that. And I still got Nip at 10. I mean, nothing really happened here. Well, we have some games this week where, we have Misfits going, we have Lunatic High going, we have Meta Athena, we have Envy. We have teams on this list that are going to be in big games this week in the next coming 2 weeks. So this list might change, but for right now, I think it's just going to stay this way. There's no real large changes. And as we see that, we'll go into some Rocket League. So yeah, Rocket League does not have as many things as Overwatch this week. In fact, it almost had nothing, so I almost couldn't even do this show. A crux of this show is that I talk about both of them, and when one of them has everything one week and the other doesn't, it's tough. But doesn't matter. League of Rockets coming out today with the clutch play. RLCS Season 3 registration ends on 2/22. You got 5 days left there, and a whole lot of teams aren't together yet. I just saw Chrome left Equinox. I mean, we have teams that in the next 5 days have to do all of their signings. Like G2 has to do their sign. Like, this is the crunch time right now. People are scrimming. People are trying to figure this out. RLCS Season 3 is coming up on us quicker than we think. Than anyone thinks. It's in 5 days. And a registration, man. And then in March, like the second week of March, is when the first actual online games are going to be happening, and will be on the Twitch. So it's coming up, and we're gonna have a lot of roster news next week, which I will be so glad to cover. I can't wait until all the roster shuffles. It's my favorite thing that happens. It's so good. And then today, League of Rockets, who are the YouTube channel, not even a company. I think it's one dude. The one dude who was responsible for the 12 Titans tournament, which was amazing. A lot of naysayers in the comment section of that tournament, but I think at the end of it, everyone pretty much agreed, yeah, that was a great idea. I'm really glad that happened. The 1v1 tournament where it was one and done, and with an immense amount of production value and the really creepy voice and the whale sound when everybody scored a goal. They put put up a tweet last week with JFK, ask not what you can do for your country, ask what you can do for a country that's yours. I think that's the exact quote from JFK. And which everyone was like, maybe some World Cup stuff, because Johnny Boy had been talking about doing a World Cup thing forever. In fact, he had been doing a bunch of show matches. I mean, he's had a bunch of show matches, right? Of like World Cup-esque teams that he himself put together. Pretty well, I would argue. I think the teams that have been on his stream are probably going to end up being the teams that are in League of Rockets. Now, the question here is this World Cup Summer 2017 going to let Scrub play? Because he can't play in RLCS, and he would be a mainstay on the Scottish team that right now is Marky Duda, Mystic, and Scrub. So if he can play, I would think that going into the World Cup Summer 2017, that Scotland would be the far and away favorite as the best team in the world. I mean, you would have 2 of the top 5 players in the world. Cux is over on Italy with who, right? The interesting part about a World Cup with Rocket League is that the actual countries with really great Rocket League players do not sometimes match up to like overall population of countries. Like Finland's going to have an amazing team, and Sweden is going to have an okay team. England's team will be okay as well. But I mean, Kronovi has to come out for America and represent. Pesci has to come out for a Germany team that should be pretty good as well. Jazer's going to be on the Finland team. You can't ever count him out. So, and the Canada team is going to be very good. Hopefully Australia's team. I want to see if Australia is 1 in it, and 2, how they even play with different pings. Pings are going to be big. Like, this isn't, I assume, going to be a LAN event. This is going to be online, so they're going to have to try to figure out pings, and I'll be interested to see how that goes. But more so than anything, just the idea, right, of a World Cup in the Rocket League is exciting, because I think people have been wanting this for a long time. Johnny Boy took that to heart and put a few of them up on YouTube / on his stream, although he still does 1v1s more often than that. So I'm glad another place like this, League of Rockets, probably have Mega Shogun and Johnny Boy do be the talent once more for it. But I'm super psyched. I can't wait for this. I'm going to be watching it, absolutely no doubt in my mind. And I'm so glad it got announced. I was looking forward to what League of Rockets was doing. When he put up the JFK quote, everyone was like, probably World Cup. And it came true. We'll look at this power rankings one more. Again, I didn't change these at all from last time. I probably should. I got to move Jam Gaming out of 10. They're obviously not the 10th best team in the world. I just put them there for a talking point. But, you know, this is also going to change this week. Again, this power ranking is subjective. I will change it once we figure out the exact new Aces lineup, the exact new G2 lineup, and Penta even. We don't know if Penta will be where will those players be at the end of this week and at the beginning of the registration process. Once the registrations are done, I'm just going to go straight to smash.gg and look up all those teams and redo this power ranking for what I think it should be, and then do my early RLCS picks, right? I mean, we'll be able to be there. Such an exciting time, guys. I mean, we have 2 huge tournaments, or at least 1 huge tournament in Apex, and then like 1 tournament that I'm obviously excited for in the Alienware Monthly Melee coming up in Overwatch. More things about the Overwatch League haven't come out yet. I mean, it's still pretty vague. Nobody knows anything about it. But, I mean, it's in the future. Splice just got picked up by the Bruins. These big organizations that have not just Overwatch teams are getting actual endorsement deals. Again, thank you so much for everybody watching this last time. Like, I got over like 100 views. That's too many, honestly, for the first time. Having a little nervy. Don't want to get things wrong. I'm getting things wrong probably every time. That's fine. I'm not going to pretend like I'm the world's foremost expert on Overwatch and Rocket League. I just love them to death, and I'm glad to talk about them. If you guys have any comments, questions, nobody even like got on my back about the power rankings. I thought everyone was going to be super mean to me, especially because I put Nip on the bottom and I put Jam Gaming on the bottom just for kind of talking points for, and not as much Nip for though for Jam Gaming, not as much obviously, but like Nobody got on my back about them. I look forward to getting in fights about them in the future. I really, really do. But so many people had so many nice things to say. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to put this up on our /competitive Overwatch and the regular Overwatch. We'll see which one likes it. I bet competitive Overwatch will like it more, and Overwatch will never see it, ever. They will be buried immediately. Maybe someone should change that. I got jokes. Either way, I don't have a schedule. I like doing this so much. The moment more news comes out about either of these things, I'll probably make another episode. So, much love and other drugs. Had a great time this week with you on these both 2 episodes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.